stands for register value aware predictor utilizing nested large tables. Let's begin. So what to next slide? So branch prediction remains the key bottleneck for modern algebra processors. As everyone here knows, the current state-of-the-art predictor are the TAJ or SL family. The TAJ predictor, based on the longest march of the global history, and the SC defines the TAJ prediction from multiple perspectives, including local history. It proposed RUNLTS, which adds correlation between register value and branch directions, and other refinements to TAJ SC. RUNLTS achieved more than 6% reduction of the provided 105 traces compared with an isolated TAJ baseline. RUNLTS keeps the TAJ structure, which includes the binary tables, type tables, and the statistical corrector, kind of hash pattern predictor. The other yellow register value components that supply an additional partial sum. RUNLTS combines several orthogonal ideas. Register value components is a 3.7% empirical reduction. Dynamic allocation sorting to TAJ as 0.5%. Improved IMLI weighting brings another 1.2%. Several other smaller tweaks deliver a modest extra gain. I will talk about these three ideas. So the register value capturing register value correlation. These values have been predicted how to predict branches, but there are two challenges. One is to identify correlated register among the 65 registers. The other is the difficulty of using fresh values at the branch prediction stage. Some approaches have been proposed that reconstruct instruction dependency graphs and utilizing techniques such as ahead execution or value prediction. However, we took a more direct approach. We use a perceptron to find correlated register and focus on subsequent branch prediction after branch mixed prediction. A misprediction flushes the pipeline, and it will expose execution result to the branch predictor. So it helps us correcting subsequent birth mispredictions. So the conventional SC uses zero-weight tables indexed by the program content and some history. It uses it includes a weight multiplier, which doubles the weight when the component is considered useful. Our register component mirrors the structure, but replaces history with 12-bit digest of the register value. If it is useful, its contribution is multiplied by 2.5. If not, it is multiplied by 0. It is silenced. This gating prevents noise from more than 50 registers that have no correlation with the branch. So we use a full a full 64-bit value cannot be used for table indexing, so we use digest. We hope this improves generalization. So for integer registers, we explore three characteristics: the count of trading zeros or ones, the count of reading zeros or ones, and the lower 6 bits. These captures aligned values such as pointers and smaller values. For floating point registers, we keep the sign and the height exponent bits, which encode rough magnitude to the floating point number. For the float registers, we duplicate the 4 status bits 3 times to enlarge the Hamming distance. So this slide explains avoiding multiple RAM. Multiple RAM expensive, so we avoid them. First, we divided the table into 8 banks. Each bank stores the usefulness and prediction weights for just 9 or 8 candidate registers. Generally, in each bank, we use at most 1 register for table access, thereby eliminating the need for multi-coded RAM. At prediction time, we pick the single most useful and available register in each bank and use it. At training time, we update one randomly chosen register per bank. It's just idea. Details on the next slide. So the training procedure for the classical perceptron rule. And if register participates in the prediction, we train it. If no register participated, we can train. So we random pick a register that was available at the prediction time and train that one. This enables exploration while still avoiding multiple RAM. So to track whether each logical register is available or waiting the execution, we use a Thomas row-like table. At the decode stage, destination registers are marked as invalid, and the tag is recorded. When the instruction writes back, we record the digest and set the valid bit. The predictor considers only valid entries. So we found that a small trick in validating 2 order digests made a notable accuracy improvement, 0.5%. So the next is second contribution. This is the second contribution, allocation throttling. Allocating too many new tagged entries can thrash the table, but allocating too few can slow running. The idea of allocation throttling was proposed, but the application to touch predictors remains open. It proposed a storage-free allocation throttling. We throttle allocation by comparing how often newly allocated entries are ejected versus how often they predict correctly. The challenge is how to realize this without storage. So each touch entry contains partial tag, U-bit, and 3-bit counter. We discovered that some U-bit 3-bit counter combinations rarely appeared. We reused those patterns as marker for newly allocated entries. By counting how often these markers are ejected versus how often they provide correct predictions, we get a free throttle signal. So this is why we do not need extra bits. The third contribution, IML weighting. So in the most loop iteration counter or IMLI, and we use the recently improved version, and IMLI significantly contributes to accuracy when a loop contains how to predict branches. This means when IMLI component is useful, there are also how to predict branches. So based on these facts, the following changes can be made to improve performance. First, we raise the useful multiplier from 2 to 3, and the second, enlarge its partial usefulness table, and third, triple the training rate for useful branches. We also widen the counting window from 64 bytes to 128 bytes for large loops. So let's go to the evaluation. Against our tuned 192 kilobyte TAJ SL baseline, RUNLTS reduced mispredictions on almost every provided traces. And this S-curve shows Raspberry, and so we use logarithmic scale. So this chart is the A change scale. The average MPKI reduction was 0.211 MPKI. The base was surprisingly 5.727 MPKI, and the worst was only minus 0.024 MPKI. So this graph illustrates the source of the reductions. The register value component helps across many traces. Allocation throttling benefits the large footprint traces where the pollution is a concern. The IML matrix shows up as 3 tall bars on int 1, 2, and 21. So this is the conclusion. We presented RUNLTS, which adds a register component to the TableS framework. We also applied zero-cost allocation throttling, more substantial IML weighting, and various fixes. Under the same 192 KB budget, this cuts branch participation by 6% on average. So this chart shows our journey. We initially planned to use BA TAJ as a base predictor, but TAJ still proved to be superior. And in the last 2 weeks, we implemented RUNLTS. Actually, we introduced the register value component in the last 3 days. Thank you.
Only no time for questions. Sorry, we can move on to the next one.